Hey Facebook, really exciting to see you again for our second time. For many of you, you might have caught our first Facebook Live, which was at this time last week, and we are planning to do one for you at 10:30 Monday morning each week. That's until we really fall in love with them, and then we might do more and more, but stay tuned for any developments in that space. So for those of you who I haven't met, my name's Michelle Crawford, and I'm the Chief Conversationalist from Being More Human. We had a bit of a story on last week's live stream about how we got our title, so I thought I'd just talk to you about how I came up with my title. So it's funny because when I was starting the business, the name of the business, Being More Human, came to me very clearly, there was no question about it. It couldn't possibly be anything else. And then I was sitting down and I was writing all the different titles that I might call myself. And so I had, director or CEO or all different range of titles. And then I'm thinking, being more human, CEO, no, it didn't cut it. It didn't work. And so the next part of my thought process was all around, well, what do humans do? All of the time, all day, every day, pretty much. And then that's where I came up with the idea of, well, we chat a lot. I certainly chat a lot. I don't know if you do. So hence Chief Conversationalist. So that's my title. And you might wonder about the different things that we like to talk about here at Being More Human. And there is a big range of them. But before we go any further, because we're on the Facebook Live, just pop in and let us know if you're listening. Say hi Nikki or hi Michelle. Tony's not around today, but you can say hi to either Nikki or myself. And I guess to create a bit of a link from last week's live stream to this week's, there was some feedback from last week's live stream about human potentialist, and that is Tony's title. And Tony's not around today, but what we will do is get her to talk to that topic for the next live stream next week, so stay tuned. But today, what we'd like to have a conversation with you about is about organisational culture. And particularly, this whole notion of, if you're in a not-for-profit, you might have some kind of desire or need to create a more commercial culture. You might phrase it a different way, but that could be a challenge that you're having at the moment. On the 22nd of February, we're going to be running an event at Rethink Financial in Newcastle, and the event is all about creating a more commercial culture without losing your heart. So the reason that we decided to have that event was that, I'm just thinking, all of us, I think, Nikki, have worked in not-for-profits.
Absolutely.
Haven't we?
Yep.
So we've all had a not-for-profit background, and in terms of my own experience, I started off working in humanitarian aid organisations and then worked in health and education, but all not-for-profits. And it wasn't until I had a role at a commercial consulting business that I was really struck with how different, more commercially focused organisations can be in comparison to not-for-profits. And so personally, I'm passionate about that conversation, and I'm fascinated by what both of those worlds can learn from each other. And I think what I noticed a lot, and I wrote this in a blog that I wrote last year about the conversation between not-for-profits and commercial organisations, but the thing that I notice regularly is that commercial organisations are often looking at not-for-profits and going, those people over there, they don't really know how to run a business. They've got great hearts, but they don't know how to run a business. And then a similar thing on the other side, where a lot of people in not-for-profits are pointing over here to the more commercial organisations, saying it's just about money. That's all it is. They don't know how to run a business that has heart. And I don't know what you're thinking as you're listening to us today on the Facebook live stream, but in my world, I don't want to have to choose between money and a heart, because to me, you can have both of those things, and it's even more important to bring those things together. And from the point of view of your culture, there's really critical elements that you can learn from both of those worlds. And when you do bring those things together, then we're seeing organisations more and more increasingly defining themselves as people, purpose, profit organisations. And so it's not a not-for-profit, it's not commercial, it's saying, yes, we want to make money, but the reason we want to make money is because we're clear on how we want to help these people, and that connects to our purpose. And really what the event is going to be about is some discussion around that topic, and also very specifically looking at how you can create a culture that genuinely embraces both of those things. Because you don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. If it's about money, you don't have to throw out purpose. If it's about purpose and meaning, you don't have to throw out, great practices around accountability with money, etc.
So Michelle, I've just shared the event on the comments
awesome.
For everybody.
You, Nikki.
And would also like to say thank you to Dantia Smart Hub for sharing this video, because we're recording from Dantia today.
In the background. Good on you, Harry. If you haven't checked Dantia out, it's well worth your while. You can come up to Charlestown and come upstairs on the Smart Hub and ask to speak to Harry. And it's a great space, whether you've got one individual or a couple of individuals in your team. Harry, come on over and just wave. So
there's Harry.
Howdy.
So maybe I'll ask Harry a few questions. Is that okay, Harry?
Yeah, of course.
So you're good to say hi on our Facebook live stream.
Hi, Facebook live stream.
So again, anyone who's listening, please pop it in that you're listening. You can feel free to ask us a question. This is Harry from the co-working space that we are in at the moment. So tell us a little bit about Dantia and how it started.
Sure, so Dantia is the Lake Macquarie Economic Development Company, and it was a section within council, and it's split off to be a private company. And Dash, which is the Dantia Smart Hub, was the first project of Dantia, and it was set up to provide a space for small businesses and startups to kind of connect and grow together.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I hear you've got some incubator thing happening. Tell us a little bit about that.
We do, yeah. The incubator is particularly for those early stage businesses, so less than 12 months old and billing less than $5,000 a month, and that entitles them to a subsidised desk. The university pays for half the desk, and then you get discounted or free subscriptions to things like HubSpot, IBM Bluemix, AWS, Microsoft Azure, lots of extra things which startups kind of can make use of and really leverage to grow quickly.
Cool. And when's that up and running?
We kicked it off on Friday night, and it's just rolling now. So if you're interested, just either get in touch with me, keep an eye out for the webpage, which will launch soon. And come be a part of it.
Okay, cool. And what's the focus for the co-working space moving forward this year?
I suppose just growing to a point where it's kind of self-propelling, and so there's a lineup of people who want to get in, and we're starting to hit that kind of critical mass word of mouth part now, where most people in the area have heard of Dash and are starting to refer people to the space that might be suitable. So we're at 60 active members now. If we can get to 100 by the end of this financial year, that'd be amazing. And I think that would be a really good number for our community, because really, it's a pretty cool space and nice facilities and everything. But the people that are here are the most important.
Yeah, that's what makes it. Yeah. Okay, last question for you.
Yep.
What did you do before you reinvented yourself as a co-working guru?
Co-working guru, I'm still not there. I was doing marketing and business development for a manufacturer.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So very, very boring compared to this job, but I learnt a lot. And yeah, I probably wouldn't do it again, but I don't regret doing it.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? Sometimes you have these experiences that can take you somewhere that you'd never predicted, but you also couldn't be able to do that without the previous stuff that you've learned.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so as with all things, I feel the same way about what I'm about to say as I do about school and university. It's not the actual skills that you learn, it's the kind of eye-opening experience that teach you how to learn and teach you how to interpret what you're seeing. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
So if you can kind of be quick on your feet and be kind of agile and adaptive and all the kind of buzzwords that everyone likes using in business now, then you'll be much better off than if you just learn the skills and you don't kind of go beyond that and analyse the skills.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
That's what I love about Facebook Live. We never know what's going to happen or who we're going to meet or who we're going to speak to. So I think that might wrap it up pretty much for today, but just a reminder for you about the event. The details are in the feed, so you can go down to the details. But otherwise, you can jump on the Being More Human webpage, which is 3Ws, beingmorehuman.com.au, and in the events section. And this particular event is called How to Create a Commercial Culture and Not Lose Your Heart. So we'd love to see you there, and feel free to pass it on to anyone else you think might be keen and interested. Is that it, Nikki? Anything else for today?
Nope, that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All good. Thanks, everyone. See ya.